Welcome, dear friends, dear devotees, dear listeners. I'm here to serve. We are here serving together. To hear is service, to speak is service. The nature of the soul is loving service. But something we've been speaking of recently is to understand speech as service, to understand hearing as service. These are the more subtle, you could say, the transcendental services. In the ninefold way of devotion, the first process is to hear as service and to speak as service. And the third service is to remember. So we are here. We can meditate on ourselves here as Atma, as divine spark of life, as sacred life, serving the whole, the center, Krishna, the divine God himself with his beloved, his divine energy, the feminine divinity, Sri Radha. And the sound, vibration itself is the closest we can actually connect to that transcendental substance. The material substances are the transformation of the energy of the Absolute, but the transcendental substance itself, the cause, is most easily accessed through the process of hearing, which is connected to the most subtle element of space or ether, and it enables us to hear. Our Guru would say that the words we speak create ripples in space, and therefore we are serving transcendental sound to make an endeavor to raise the energy or the mood of love in the world and the world within, both. So tonight we're going to hear some beautiful activities, transcendental pastimes of the beautiful, most beautiful Lord Sri Krishna in his childhood. Why? We have Purnima, baby Purnima here. So we're going to tell baby Krishna stories for baby Purnima. Very good. She can also hear. Her soul is hearing. We're all hearing together. And during this sacred month of Kartik, for 1 month we sing a very special song, which is 8 prayers sung by a great sage in a long, long ago era. Actually, we don't know exactly when. It was so long ago. Thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago. This was sung. And it was not sung as some kind of composition from studying the scriptures. Rather, it was through a revelation, through mystic meditation for thousands of years. It's described in a bygone age when the span of human life was up to 100,000 years. And you could sit and meditate, and the life was maintained within the marrow of your bones. And you could sit and meditate and achieve full inner peace and clarity, and then you could perceive the divine Lord in the center of your own existence, in the center of your Atma, the Paramatma, the super soul, and then develop relation. This is the perfection of yoga. And after achieving the perfection of yoga, you develop the devotion, the yoga of the love, the yoga of devotion. And then you can see manifesting both within and without all the myriad activities or lila of that supreme being, who is both the essence of everything, the heart of the heart, the self of the self, the soul of the soul of the universe, within whom all the universes reside. So it's a very mystical thing. So this great sage Satyavrat Muni had a vision of that absolute truth manifest within his heart. after thousands of years of austerity, of solemn meditation. And then he wrote a song, and this song is so beautiful. We sing it every month, twice a day, while offering lamps to Sri Krishna. It's a very beautiful song. So for the next 3 days, at least, we'll be going over this song. This is a very sweet, intimate format, and then tomorrow we'll be in a more public place. No. We get to hear her appreciation for Harikatha. So, the setting is important to think, right? This is not some song written by some composer studying the scripture. This is through the revelation in the heart, through the practice of devotion and tapas, austerity. He perceived this in his heart, and then he began to sing. Why don't we sing it together? Namamishwaram Sachidanandarupam La Satkundalam Gokule Brajamanam Jashoda Biyolukad Ladhavamanam Paramristamatyan Tato Dhrutya Gopya. It's said actually these verses were composed themselves. Sometimes it's described that he would realize and speak one verse and then meditate on it for again, perhaps years. And then the next verse would reveal itself in his heart. It's such a sacred song. So, this is not the beginning of his meditation. This is the conclusion of his meditation, this song. Why? In spiritual life, there's so many levels of knowledge, and therefore, we're going to go right to the conclusion. But we should understand that all of the yoga systems, all of the paths of knowledge, gyan, all of the paths of karma, action, of dharma, everything has already been realized, and now he's understanding the ultimate conclusion. Like we talk about this in life now when I travel, meeting people from so many backgrounds, and you find so many people who want to do good, who want to help the world. We had also people from the highest levels of society and people from the, not just the humblest, but the beginning. Like we were talking with a group of our school children in California, and they're all asking, how do we help the world? What do we do? And so generally this is a sentiment of people who are good people, which most people are. They want to do good. So Satyavrat Muni, this great sage, has meditated on this, as every righteous person will do in the course of life. But the final conclusion of all dharma, religious activities, spiritual activities, of all tapas, austerity, of all vratas, vows, of all karmas, different duties, the ultimate conclusion is what? Namam Ishwaram. It is said that the ultimate perfection of life is to realize our relationship with the Creator, with the source of everything. It's said that the soul is on that journey since time immemorial. And so, what is the process to realize that relationship? Both in the heart, we should understand that God is the closest thing to us at every moment in our spiritual life. That means in life itself. Spiritual life just means the soul's existence. That is spiritual life. Everything separate from it is material life. Really, the soul is spirit and it's living. So everything is spiritual life. And so that we can imagine that for time without beginning, Krishna in the Gita says that never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor in the future shall you ever cease to be. So we are both one with God, but separate, individual, because He is acknowledging our existence. Never was there a time in the past when you did not exist. Never is there a time in the future when you will not exist. And because you are coming from me, in that sense we are one. As I am the Father of creation, you are my children, so therefore we are one. But yet, why? Why have we forgotten that? Why have we turned away? Therefore, namam People understand this. This is Hindu culture, right? Namaste. Someone was asking me, what's the difference between namaste and namaskar? The root is both the same, nama. And we say, oh, nama means offering like respect, salutation, genuflection. But actually, nama has a deeper meaning. Na means to offer my ego. It's an offering. Here I am. In the next month, Krishna's pastime, after this month, we have Katyayani Brat, and in that month there was the ultimate selfless surrender or offering of that self to Krishna in the form of the gopis. That's another topic. But the idea here is that this is ultimately the most vulnerable thing. To say, oh, I offer myself. What does it mean to be naked before God? It means that I know I'm always naked before God, but I am separating myself. I am clothing myself and hiding away my nakedness. That means the purity of my essence. Who am I really? The purity of my essence, I am hiding away because I don't know. Am I good enough? I want to clothe myself as very nice. But my soul, what is my essence? Part of my ego is I want to hide away my lust. I want to hide away my anger. I want to hide away my greed. I want to hide away my desire. And I want to show myself in society as a gentleman, as a gentlewoman. That's the idea. The English say, oh, dress very nice so that you can hide away your own sin, your own nakedness. But to be naked before God means nama. I offer myself pure, whole, as I am, all of it. I'm fully vulnerable before you, and whatever it is that I am, I offer it to you. Not just my ego, my very self. Ego is one thing, and there's different parts of the ego. But the actual, we can meditate on. Actually, also this is a meditation on the layers of so-called self that may need to burn off. Namaha, I also offer them into that fire of sacrifice, of surrender. That what am I really? So there's one nakedness, which is that whatever I am now, I am human, I am flawed, I am whatever I am. But oh Lord, Namam, oh Ishwaram, the Supreme Creator, the Supreme Being of all beings, Nama, I offer myself to you, as I am. One of our great teachers says, people ask me how to get rid of lust, how to get rid of anger, how to get rid of greed, how to get rid of all these things. And I say, it's not possible. This is part and parcel of the nature of the self, which is to desire, to want love. Don't erase yourself. Connect yourself through real love and real relationship. That, oh, my desire I offer to you. My lust I offer to you. My anger I offer to you. Namaha, myself completely whole. Everything that I am, I offer to you. I have nothing to hide. Because there's nothing I can hide from you. You are both within and without. You are the soul of the universe, and the universe is within you. How can I hide from you? You are in. It's said that God is within you. So what can you hide? You cannot go and hide in a cave and think God does not see you. Because He's part of you, He's within you, He's in your heart. So Namam means I offer myself to you. And then the other side is, he says, okay, good. But you offering yourself to me, then you have to come to me. Then Namaha means all those things that are part of my nature that I may be very attached to, I'm holding on. Draupadi, the great princess, was holding on very tightly while she was being, her clothes were being pulled by this great demon, Dushashan. Dushashan means very wicked person. Was trying to disrobe her in the great assembly of the Kauravas. She was holding on until she surrendered. She was not. Namaha means, oh, ultimately, I am not my own protector. You are my protector and maintainer. I offer myself to you. That means some things also must go. I am what I am, full, but also something must go. And then my purest essence, my essential nature, who I am really, the essence of my essence, of my essence, of my essence, that true soul, that true self, that true identity can emerge. That is our process of spiritual awakening. But the first step is to accept, acknowledge this is what I am, who I am. So namam. That's why it said ultimately to save the world, first save yourself. Learn to save yourself. So namam, Ishwaram, O Lord, you are the Savior. Who am I to save anyone? But I am praying that you save me. And I surrender my heart and soul to you. Ishwaram. Now, Ishwaram, so many people have so many ideas. What is God? God is light. God is energy. God is the universe. But after thousands of years of meditation, first seeing the all-pervading form of God, omniscient, omnipotent, all energy itself, you're seeing the effect, and you're thinking it's the cause. And then you go deeper, deeper, and deeper, and then you see the soul within every soul, within the soul of all existence. That inner layer, that inner essence of God everywhere. Not just the effect, not just all this energy, all this expansion, but that inner Atma, Paramatma. And then you become lost in the beauty of that, and then you go deeper and deeper through meditation, through more thousands of years of austerity and meditation, and then you see Ishwaram, so many Ishwars are there in the Vedas, in the Puranas, in different traditions, so many Ishwars, so many ideas about God. But this great sage, through this meditation, then he saw something very astonishing. Namam Ishwaram Sachidananda Rupam. You have transcendental form. Beyond, it said that the light of all, it said that when people come to a certain level of understanding, you hear about that with people who have near-death experiences. They reach the light and they see themselves as connected to the light and part of that light. And then they feel bliss and happiness. That's called Brahmananda. Happiness of merging with the impersonal absolute. That beautiful effulgence is just the emanating rays of the effulgence of the transcendental form of the Lord. And so then you go beyond that through meditation and you see Sachidananda Rupam. Transcendental form that is eternally existing and full of bliss and full of divine consciousness. But who? What? What is that form? Many forms, but he is seeing now completely pure and clean, offering himself completely, and then the Lord is very mercifully revealing himself to those who are desiring love of God. He reveals himself as the form of love, as the attractor of Cupid himself. And so this Satyavrat Muni sage, what does he see? This little naked boy. And around his waist is a little golden chain, little golden bells. And he's running through a beautiful meadow. Little boy running through a meadow. And on his ears there are these beautiful shark-shaped earrings. And as he is running, the sage is seeing the earrings as they kiss the cheeks of this boy as he's running. And he's thinking, oh, how fortunate are those earrings. They are kissing the cheeks of the supreme form of the Lord. Oh, if I could just be like those earrings. If I could kiss those cheeks. Why? You realize that the soul, when you realize pureness, right? We think of purity as an ideal. Why? We should become pure. Purity is important, yes? Why do we want purity? Purity is like, they say, like the autumn lake, when it's perfectly clear and you can see yourself in it like a mirror. Perfectly still and clear. That clarity allows you to realize truth. And what do you see then? Oh, my soul and God are inseparable. And love is our very nature. And to love God is it's not a theory, it's not an intellectual idea. That clarity, that purity makes the natural attraction such a strong force. The most powerful force, the most powerful akarshan, gravity is, like a magnet now. The soul is attracted towards God. like iron, pure iron in a magnet. And through that clarity, that purity, that pure sattva, pure goodness, your heart is racing towards the object of your love, the Divine Lord Himself. And so this sage is seeing, these earrings, lasat kundalam gokule brajamanam. This beautiful boy is running through the meadows of that sacred land, the eternal abode of Vrindavan, that beautiful forest. And on his cheeks, these earrings are swinging. And he's lost in that meditation. And then he sees something even more wonderful. Why? Through the sacred trance he is in, through trance, it's said that through that purity, then within the, you could say, the realm of the heart, the inner eye, in the realm of the heart, this scene is manifesting. This is not an external scene. The scene is going on here in his meditation. And it's going on here. The Lord is revealing Himself in that pastime. And so He is now sitting and meditating. We tell people, meditate. This is the temple of the heart here. So we sit here and we meditate where? On the heart. Why are we in the temple of the heart? To be in the temple of the heart and to practice that. To have a space where we can practice going within into that temple and sit. And the perfection is, we can sit for 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. And what is going on? That internal reel of the Lord's pastimes. And so now he is seeing that. And he is seeing this beautiful boy running. And then as he notices, he sees, this boy is very anxious. And he's not running in a straight line. He's running like this, weaving. And then he's very focused on that, but then the scene opens, like you see the scene open out, and this beautiful transcendental personality, who? The mother of the Lord. Her name is Mother Jashoda. Jashoda means always giving fame to others, completely selfless in her love. So glorious, but Jashoda, giving. And she is running. And the boy is running, and she is running behind him. And the rest of the scene is peaceful. Some simple village homes, and through the pathway, it said, Jashoda bhiyo lukadladhavamanam. This boy appears afraid. He said, how astonishing is this? This first verse is blowing his mind. God is revealing Himself to me. I am doing namaha. I am naked before you. I am offering my ego and everything to you as I am. I'm offering myself. And He's saying, yes, I will also do like this. I am a little naked boy, and my mother's chasing me with a stick in her hands. Jashoda bhiyo lukadladhavamanam. Running. She's running. Param ristamantyantato drutya gopya. So he sees like this pastime. And then the next verse we can sing together. Rudhanta muhur netram jugmam rejantam karamojal jugmena shatanka netram muhusasa kampa trire kanka kanta stita grevam damo dharam bhakti bhadam. More astonishing. He is now thinking, what will happen? What is happening? How is this? The absolute truth, the Lord of all lords, is in this form. Who is this Mother Yashoda? Who is this divine lady? So then Rudantam, he looks closer and he sees this boy, Gopal, he's named Gopal, means the maintainer of everyone. But he is crying, Rudantam. Tears are very sweet. We think, what is the most beautiful moments in life? Like pure tears. It's such a pure thing. Right? I remember before we went to India, right? Sometimes if you're able to just truly cry, how pure is it, right? Tears are pure. Laughter is pure. Pure laughter, like natural joy and natural tears. Especially in spiritual life. We think tears are something, lamentation. Actually, tears are like, we do this idea, it's offering, right? We offer the Ganga to the Ganga, Tilanjali. It's called an Anjali, an offering of water. So the tears we cry in spiritual life, those are the offering of water to the Absolute. That is, you could say, our binding covenant of our relationship. That, I am crying my heart to melt your heart. My tears are the firewood that I'm offering into the sacrifice to melt your heart, propitiating you. Please come to me, accept me. I'm crying for you. I'm showing you my sincerity of purpose, the purity of my purpose, to purely cry. And so now the Supreme Lord Himself, Satyavrat Muni, is thinking, so many times I have wept and cried, prayed to you to appear. Now I'm seeing you are crying. Rudhanta muhunetra. And your tears, you see like a baby cry. Young baby, now a few years old. And it's bubbling up from his eyes like a spring from his heart and pouring down his cheeks, and all the black mascara on his eyes is now coming along his cheeks like the river Jamuna and the river Ganga. And they're crying down his cheeks. Rudanta muhunetra yugmam rajantam. And he's quivering. Karambuja yugmena shatanka netram. Why? Rudanta muhunetra yugmam rajantam karambuja yugmena shatanka netra. Muhuswasa kampa trirekanka kanta. In his neck there's 3 beautiful lines. And kampa, he's shivering. So, many years later from this pastime that Krishna performed, maybe many years later, I think 60, 70 years later, Mother Kunti, who is the mother of the 5 Pandavas who are famous in the Mahabharata, she is related to Krishna through Devaki and Vasudeva, Krishna's parents, one of Krishna's parents, step-parents. And she was sitting with Krishna. Now Krishna is a grown man, youthful, beautiful, and he is now a great prince, like a great king. He has his whole civilization, very well respected. He has spoken the Bhagavad Gita. He's the great teacher, the great world teacher. And she is sitting with him, like his aunt, and she says, Krishna, I've heard this story of you where you were running as a little boy afraid of your mother. And you were crying, and you're shivering and shaking. But you are God. Was this some like drama to please your mother? What was it? What were you feeling at that time? And Krishna smiled and said, it was real. Right? He smiled. You imagine Krishna sitting, very beautiful room, very opulent, sitting with Auntie Kunti Devi. And he smiled and said, actually, mother, this was completely genuine. Why? Her love for me was so great, I forgot everything. Actually, for me, I was living in Vrindavan to forget all these other things. I am not God in Vrindavan. I am not God in Vrindavan. In Vrindavan, I am just the son of Mother Yashoda. I am her son. I don't know what is this God you're talking about. I am just her son. And I was crying because I was thinking, I've angered her. I've hurt her now she is chastising me. She is running behind me with a stick. And she was telling, stop, stop, stop. We'll tell this story tomorrow. Why? What is the story behind this? But for now, meditate on this scene that she is running behind with a stick and saying, stop, I will chastise you. Why? Why? This is her love. Vatsalya means her powerful, powerful love. That this sense of ownership that no, you have done wrong. I must chastise you. She said, I'll throw the stick. Stop. And Krishna is looking back. And he was running in a zigzag fashion because he's thinking, maybe I'll be able to evade her grasp. And it said that Mother Yashoda's mother is very healthy, little healthy. In Indian culture, we say healthy means little chubby, not too skinny. This is not Krishna culture. Too skinny is not good. Slender, no problem, but there should be some meat. Some love handle, at least a little bit. Right? So Mother Yashoda's running, and it said, Mother Yashoda, her hair is full of flowers. And her braid is tied, but now it's becoming loose, and she's perspiring, and the flowers are jumping and falling from her hair. And beads of sweat are forming on her forehead, and she's swiftly running. And Krishna is running in a zigzag, thinking, she will not be able to change direction as fast as I am very nimble and small. And he is worried. Why? What is greater? God or his devotees? What is greater? God is greater, of course, right? Who is greater, God or his devotees? God is greater. How can we say that devotees are greater than God? It's said in the scripture that nothing can conquer the unconquerable Lord. And yet, the last line of the second verse, Bhakti Badam, he is bound. This second verse ends with this story we'll tell tomorrow. That finally Mother Yashoda catches this Gopal. And she binds him with the ropes of her love to the grinding mortar. And so Satyavrat Muni, this great sage, is seeing this pastime and thinking, how is this possible? How is she able to bind him? Again, teaser for tomorrow. But how is it possible that she is binding him? She's conquering the unconquerable. And the story goes, the essence, the end of the story is that once she bound him, she made this determination, I'm going to bind him and teach him a lesson. He's always stealing butter, he's always teasing the different gopis in Vrindavan, and so I will bind him. And I will use his accomplice, the grinding mortar, because he was standing on top of the grinding mortar and stealing from her home, from the rafters that she had hidden butter, yogurt, and sweets. So now she's trying to bind him. And first she uses the braid from her hair, and she's not able to bind him. She has 2 fingers short. And then her friends come, and she asks them to bring more thread, and she ties it all together, and she's 2 fingers too short. And then she brings her other friends, and gradually all her different friends, all the different ladies in Vrindavan, they all come and they all bring all their household thread and rope. And then when that runs out, they bring all the rope from all the cows, the pens, everything in the whole town, all the different villages. And so she's assembled miles and miles and miles of thread. And yet, it is still 2 fingers too short. And Krishna is looking at her, and still the mascara is staining his cheeks, making it very beautiful. But now he's smiling a little bit. Oh, you will bind me? You're going to bind me? He's 2 fingers too short. 2 fingers too short. It's said that one time, Mother Yashoda, this is another pastime, another time, but as a little boy, Krishna was playing with his friends, the cowherd boys, and he started eating clay. And the boys went and complained to his mother, oh, your son is eating clay. And Krishna's brother also, Balaram, also complained, oh, he ate clay. And so Mother Yashoda came and said, naughty boy, this is not good for you, it'll mess up your stomach, you should not do it. He said, no, I didn't eat clay. I didn't eat clay. He said, okay, your words, I don't know. Proof is in the mouth. Proof is in the pudding. Open your mouth and show me. So he smiled and said, okay, you want to see if I've eaten clay? I've eaten earth? I've eaten earth? And so he opened his mouth. And she saw not only a little bit of earth, all earth, the whole earth, not only Earth, all the planets, not only all the planets, the entire galaxy, not only the galaxy, all the galaxy, not only that, all the universe, all the universes. She saw everything present within his belly. I have eaten it all. And then as she looked, she saw, oh, not only all the universe, not only this earth, but on this earth she saw Vrindavan, and she looked closer, and then she saw herself looking in the mouth of her son. And then she thought, at that point she shook her head and looked away, and then called the different sages and Brahmins and said, quick, we have to bathe my son. Some ghost has possessed him, and they began to bathe him with cow urine and smear cow dung on his body, and then use the tail of a black calf to go over his head to get rid of any evil spirits. He said, oh, so this is the absolute truth. And she is trying to bind him. She's trying to bind him, and she has 2 fingers too short. 3 miles of thread, 10 miles of thread, 20 miles of thread can bind he in whom the entire universe is present. So therefore it said, it's not possible. So she was trying from morning till afternoon, late afternoon, and finally she was becoming so overwhelmed and so exhausted, she began to pray in her heart to the Lord Narayan. And then Krishna began to smile more, because she does not know that actually Lord Narayan is just a small expansion of his energy, of his Godhead. And so she is praying to Narayan, oh, if I cannot bind my son, what will happen to me? What will happen to my family, my life? Oh, please, God, I have worshipped you since my childhood faithfully. Please, God, help me do this. I'm not trying to harm him. I just want to teach him to be a good boy. And if I'm also afraid, if I don't bind him, then afterwards I'm going to go home and cook for him. Nobody else is here now, otherwise he may run away. He was threatening to run away. He said, I'm going to run into the forest and leave. And so she thought, I have to bind him and then I have to go home. So in this way she was praying and praying and praying and praying and praying very sincerely, and she herself began to cry. And then Krishna, her son, seeing her tears, his own heart melted, and hearing her prayers to the Lord Narayan, his expansion, his heart melted, and very happily he allowed her to bind him with the same original thread that she tried to use. And then she bound Krishna to the grinding mortar. So these are the first 2 verses of this beautiful song, Bhakti Bhadam. So many commentaries have been written on these by different great teachers. Now we're just giving some ideas, some little touch, some little percentage of these moods, but we're going to dive in and continue deeper and deeper and deeper. Hare Krishna. Vanchakalpa tarubhishta kripa sindhuve vacha patitanang pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo. So everyone listening, we are singing the song every day during this month, meditating on this beautiful pastime. And then the 3rd verse says, and then I saw so many pastimes. So this great sage, he saw this and he completely realized this. And then iti drikka swali labir ananda kunde. Then he merged into an ocean of bliss and nectar, because all these pastimes then began to manifest in his heart, one after another, one after another. Why? He became so curious that never before he had understood this conclusion, this absolute truth like this, in this manner. And he saw this Leela and he thought, what else? And then one by one, the Lord began to reveal himself in his heart, one by one, unto the final conclusion, Namo Ananta Leela. He says, all glories, I offer my obeisance now to all your unlimited pastimes, to all your limited pastimes, and to your dear most beloved Sri Radha. So in this way, there's a spiritual journey of transformation, of the arc of his realization through these 8 verses. And we're going to hear these verses and try to practice in our life, how to actually make spiritual advancement, to realize our soul and our relation with God. Hare Krishna. Vanchakalpa tarubhishya kripa sindhuve vacha patitanang pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo. Very lucky that same Lord has appeared here, so we're going to do arti and sing them the nighttime lullaby.